Hey y'all, welcome to another painting session. This is the second session of self-care painting. Huh?
Can I use photos to see you?
No,
Why not?
it's education purposes.
Wow, wow, wow. Listen, can I try?
No,
One thing. Give me a chance.
it's for education purposes.
Give me a
Sorry.
chance. One moment. You won't regret it. I guarantee you won't regret it.
I really can't. It's educational purposes.
How much
Sorry.
did you spend?
I'm currently recording. I'm trying to wrap it up.
So, yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
My position. No, you go to jail. You don't have the right to steal someone's fucking peace of mind. You don't have the right to invade people's fucking personal space. You don't have the right to feel that you own somebody. You own them. You can manipulate them. You could toy with them. No, the fuck you don't. You are not above the law. You deserve to go to jail, and people like you deserve to fucking go to jail too. You have no fucking right. Today we are at the Fresh Pond Reservation. It is nature meets city and it's gorgeous. There's a lot of greenery, a lot of trees, a lot of flowers, a lot of bugs. But I love the aesthetics and we're going to continue doing these videos. But of course we got to set the tone first before we get into the nitty gritty. So let's do a stage. Let's stage the energy first. And today is August 15th. It's a Sunday. Happy Self-Care Sunday. Hopefully you are taking care of yourself because that's important. Okay, let's sage the energy. Let's sage the vibe. Let's get into our higher self. Let's ground ourselves. Let's clear our minds. Let's get in tune with what we need and care for that. Let's give ourselves grace and space to experience. And let's be present in the moment. Let's clear out any bad vibes, any bad thoughts, any bad people, places, and things. Whew. Let's make sure that is all the way burnt out. That's important. Now let's do an inhale and an exhale with the same bowl. We're going to do this 3 times. Okay. Now, per usual, if this was a paint session, I would be asking the collective, what did you learn about yourself since COVID, the last 16, 18 months, in regards to like, how has that impacted you? What did you learn about yourself? What things that had to change or things that you had to implement since the pandemic, since the shutdown and so on and so forth. Then I would obviously ask people to introduce themselves, as well as what brought them to Paint Your Truth. Some people, they want to get into painting because they used to be painters. Other people, it's a method of self-care. Different answers for different people because we're all unique and we're all different. Oh, did I answer the questions that I proposed to you? Oh my God, I don't think I did. Wowzers. So, what did I learn about myself within the last 18 months? Last week I said that it's okay to be more authentic, that I can be my authentic self without essentially asking for permission. So, what else have I learned about myself within the last 18 months? I've existed but never actually lived. Like this year, well, the beginning of the pandemic, it taught me to literally stop and smell the roses because I was in my head, as well as like there's certain expectations. Like everybody has expectations, everybody has certain criteria and goals they're trying to meet. But for me, I felt like I was just doing everything because it was expected of me, as well as like I was doing everything that I felt was needed of me from other people. So of course I wasn't holding on to my boundaries. There was no self-care, but also like I forgot to live. Like like I said, something as simple as watching the trees and seeing how I might have to scooch again because they're getting a little too close. Getting a little too close. Back. Okay, they gone. Anyways, yes. So the expectations, doing things for other people. So there wasn't really boundaries. It wasn't self care, but like I literally did not stop to smell the roses. And it was just so many things like I didn't know that was there, and I didn't know that existed there, and I didn't know. And it's just like, how did you not know when like you're in the neighborhood, you're in the area, you walk by here all the time? Like, how did you not know? And it wasn't like a judgment thing. If anything, it was me allowing myself space and grace to be like, you need to like exist outside of the mundane. Like you need to actually live. You need to actually thrive. You need to actually expand. You need to actually go. You need to actually live. So, that's what I discovered about myself in the last 16, 18 months. And what brought me to this point of doing self-care painting. I've been doing this for the last like 6 years, and this is the first time that I decided to make this into an actual business. I like how I am now versus I was beforehand. There was a bee that flew. I don't know if y'all saw that, but there's a bee that literally flew in front of the camera. But I've been doing this for the last 6 years as like a community event, and I loved it. I've enjoyed it since doing it 6 years ago. But I wanted to live this instead of doing it as just a pop-up event, a pop-up workshop. Like I want to live in this reality. I want to live in this authenticity. I want to live self-care. I want to teach others how to get in tune with themselves via self-care. Painting is just a method, but the creme de la creme is the self-care aspect. So I wanted to be in that energy at all times, and I wanted people to also feel comfortable being in that energy at all times. And nothing says learning like modeling. So that's why I decided to make self care painting a business via Paint Your Truth. So that's why I'm here. And in the comment sections, you will let me know why you're here. And of course, like every YouTube channel, please like, please subscribe, please comment down below and share. And everything that you'll need to know will be down in the description box below. And of course, I would be providing all the materials like I always do. Like, for instance, I'll be providing the canvases, the easels. I don't know if y'all can see it, but all the painting materials, y'all gonna see it when I put them on my canvas and get to picking my colors. But the paint palette and everything else, I would be the one providing it. And of course, you can't paint without waters and paint brushes. Now, Paint Your Truth is a little different than the typical paint night or painting class because there is no like model to follow. It's about your true intention. It's about you getting in touch with your mind, body, and soul as you paint. Painting is just a tool. Painting is just a method, but there's no expectation that you're supposed to be this world's renowned painter. It's nothing like that. There's no pressure. If anything, it's the opposite of pressure because it's supposed to help you relax and get into your wellness, get into your self-care. So that's the je ne sais quoi. That's the gist of self-care painting when we do Paint Your Truth sessions. Now, I'm going to demonstrate the paints and how to do the paints. Typically, when people see paints and they see these little holes for the paints, people get overwhelmed and they think that they need to like cake the paint into these holes. Yes, they're tiny, but you really just need the size of a penny. Like anything other than the size of a penny, you're going to end up wasting it because you have to also be mindful that we're going to dilute it with water. So we're not going to use the whole, I guess you could say, thickness of the paint in and of itself. So you only really just need a penny. And if you don't, I promise you, you're going to end up with something that looks like this, where the paint is all the way caked up. And by the time I edit this video, y'all going to see it up close in person what I mean with caked up. It ends up being wasted. So just FYI for y'all who are curious about that, you'll need to. Now, let me pick out my paint colors. Today's a little bit different because I actually have a I don't want to say thing or like an ideal, but I have like an interest of what I want to paint. And it is coming out of my self-care oracle deck. I read energies and I'm also a tarot reader, and I have this self-care oracle deck, and I use this deck on the weekends. And there's one particular card that fascinated me and I want to make my own version of it, and it's this number 52. It says take a walk, and it looks like this. Now I'm gonna of course zoom in when I edit this video, but when you see this, it looks like just a landscape, kind of like the aesthetics of where we are today. And if you don't see it closely, you look at it too quick, you give it a little glance and you dip, you're not going to notice that this is like a body of a woman outlined in nature, like Mother Nature, mother being the womb. So I found it fascinating. Like, it's the wonders of life. It's just the simple things. It's just the small things. Yesterday, I went to celebrate one of my friends' birthday. She's a Leo, and it's Leo season. And I was just waiting for the bus to come to take me where I needed to go. And I was just like, damn, like, when was the last time you actually looked at a tree? And I'm just saying, like, the average person looks at a tree and sees like the leaves blowing and just find the magic in that. Find the magic in just the simple things. Like, how many people just take a time to just breathe the natural air, just be one with nature, just get lost in your thoughts as you're like walking in the path. And it's just one of those like simple treasures of life. Like, because we're always on the go for whatever reason, we just kind of like step out of nature. When we are nature, we're always in nature, and we need to get closer to being okay with nature, being okay with self, and knowing that stop and smell the roses, or stop and see like the sway of the leaves on the trees, because it really is just the simple things in life. So with that being said, number 52, take a walk. 52 reduced gives us 7. That's what I'm going to paint for today's paint session. So let me pick out my colors. I'm going to follow somewhat of the aesthetics of this particular depiction of the card. I'm going to use the purple, the green, the blue, but I might add a little flair. You know, I do what I do, you know. But we'll see how it goes. So hopefully y'all are having a great self-care Sunday. You know, you take your time out to rest. You take your time out to be blessed. You're taking the time out to rest. Ooh, because you deserve it. We all deserve it. Hopefully you had a great week, the past week that already happened. And if it was challenging, hopefully the week coming up, like the Monday, you will feel better. And hopefully whatever challenges that you had the week before, you can resolve it this week. Ooh. I am going to use a lot more than a penny with the white, only the white, because I know like I want to give it that airy look, and it's a lot of white that's going to help me throughout the depiction of my canvas. But typically we would go easy on the paint. I'm gonna go with this light purple. Yeah, I don't think I need a lot of it for this particular portrait. And it looked like this. Besides the white, the average little droplet of paint within these little cubbies, little holes, is the size of the purple that I just poured out. We need yellow, yellow, yellow. It's a nice warm day. It's warmer than last Sunday. However, because I'm close to shade, it's not that bad. And truth be told, like, I didn't notice this until I set up things, that the sun is directly behind me, And if I turn, I will feel the heat on my face. But because it's behind me, it's not that bad. And there's literally a tree right here. I don't think you can see it, but I promise you it's right there. And its leaves are over me, so it's giving me the shade that the sun, yellow sun, is just on my head. And thank God I do have hair, so I'm not getting burned. But nonetheless, how are y'all? I feel like I asked that with going into the whole discussion about your week, but if I didn't, how are y'all? How is your mental? How's your physical? How's your financial? How's your spiritual? Because that matters as well. Have you let go of people, places, and things? Because we talked about that last week, which is a process in and of itself. So don't feel like you need to rush and be on someone else's timeline. Be on the timeline that best suits you. And in my personal experience, it's best to rip off the Band-Aid. And I will tell you, as a Taurus, I am loyal to a fault at times. So sometimes I know I'm supposed to rip that thing off, but I'm just slightly peeling it off. But in most cases, pulling it off and letting it be what it is best gonna suit you. Maybe a little bit of this other green, this medium green. And I have water to drink as well, so I'll be straight. And I think that's it. I thought I had a darker blue, but maybe I am mistaken. And there's dragonflies here as well. Like a few times I've caught dragonflies just landing on my blanket. And if you follow me on Instagram, shameless plug, paintyourtruth_, don't forget the underscore, the weekend of Paint Your Truth Self-Care Sunday, August 15th. If you already follow me, you will see, because I just posted it minutes beforehand, a dragonfly that landed on my blanket. So if it flies over my head and I see it, I'll point it out in this video. But I think that's it. I thought I had a darker blue, but apparently not. But that's okay. I do need black. So these are my colors. 2 greens, light purple, white, light blue, and yellow. You don't need to fill in all those cubby holes either. If you need it for your particular, dark blue. If you need it for your particular canvas, of course, but you don't feel overwhelmed. It's not a test. And I feel like I have to say that because oftentimes we always feel like we are graded, whether it's like our workplace, our family, our friends, our spouses, or significant others. We always feel like we have to meet a certain mark. This is not it. So don't feel the need to live to whatever expectation, because there's no expectation when it comes to self-care painting. What's Paint Your Truth? I knew I had it. I was like, where's this dark blue at? I know I had it. This was showing off the back. I didn't see the front, so I was like, dang, maybe I didn't. But I did. Now, got my colors. Let me move the paints to the side. I have some more space. And y'all already know my legs be long, so you know I'm going to be stretching them throughout the painting process. So let me make some room, and we shall get into painting. Let me move this over here. And this is my blank canvas. Don't worry about the mark throughout the traveling process to get here. I guess certain things got rubbed together. It don't even matter because we got white to cover it up with a white canvas. We not even stressing. So let's commence the painting. Hopefully y'all can hear me. The sound isn't too loud. So yeah, let's get into some painting. And of course, I'm going to talk to you throughout the process. I'm going to start this canvas with everything all white. And of course, if I was doing paint, you know I'm growing up, because typically I would try to kill the bugs. I'm just trying to move it in the direction that I see fit. Which also serves a purpose for this caked up paint, because there are, again, bugs, because it is like nature. There's these like white cluster bugs, so when they ever come through, I just swat them away. I feel like that's the best thing to deal with, like bugs and ants and things of that nature. Just swat them in the direction that you want them to go. Period. But like I was saying, if I was having a typical painting workshop, of course y'all could talk amongst yourselves. That's usually how it is. People come in shy, and then in the process, they're kikiing their lives away. So of course, it's not a test. It's just you getting in tune with self. So, like I mentioned, I went to a friend's birthday party. Well, it wasn't a birthday party per se, but like we went out and we just enjoyed the moment. It was like 9 of us, and it literally is the simple pleasures in life that I guess we just don't have time for, and it's just life. Like we're all trying to survive. Like, correct, capitalism is capitalizing, correct, but it really is just those small things that make you be like, man, this was really good. It was really a vibe. So we went to this restaurant that has this like cool aspect where it's kind of like buffet style, but it's also kind of like serve yourself, but it's also kind of like um, mix and match, right? There's different types of like cultures, like Asian, American, Italian, Latin, which I think they confuse Latin for Italian, which is a conversation in and of itself. And this is not that type of time. But they didn't really have like real Spanish food, but they had like pasta. And yeah, so you get what you want. And they, of course, have the salads and the fruits and stuff. They have vegan options. And then you pick out your sauce, and then you go to like this circular. Okay. I'm gonna show it. I thought about it. I was like, I'm gonna show y'all as I edit the video. I'm gonna show y'all and grab like the video from my Instagram because I was like, ooh, will it be up by the time I wrap up? Yes, it will be. So I gotta remind myself, future self, grab that video from your Insta story so we can add into this Paint Your Shoot video. But nonetheless, so you grab your food, you grab your sauces or whatever, and then you take it to the big circular grill, and then they chop it up right in front of you, and it's pretty actually cool. Like that's kind of really the highlight of that particular establishment. So yeah, and in that establishment, no cap, at least five people that that day had birthdays. I don't know if they had birthdays in Leo. I don't know if they had birthdays in general this year. I don't know if they were stretching the truth. I don't know if that exact day was their birthday, but 5 times within the period of being in the restaurant, we were out here singing happy birthday. And then every time it's that person's birthday, the middle of the grill, the fire like kind of explodes. And it's like, shoo, and like that's the highlight. So like periodically we're singing happy birthday just so we can see the thing go, shoo. It was cute. It was fun. It was a vibe. But yeah, it really is the simple things in life, bruh. Literally. But how was y'all's Saturday? What did y'all do? Did you go anywhere? Are you a Leo? And do you believe in like the traits of certain zodiac signs or astrology in general? Because I literally am that person who'll be like, "What are you?" And then you'll tell me, I'm like, "Oh my God, you are." And then I get into a conversation about it. But for me, in my personal opinion, it resonates. For me, in my personal opinion, whenever someone's like, "This is my birthday," and I'm like, "Oh, that means you're blah blah blah," I could see it. I could see it. I could see it. Especially if it's like a parent. Like Aries have that signature Aries like cardinal, like me, leadership, like first, like that. Like in the YouTube comments, first, like that's Aries energy. Whereas like for example, someone who's more like idyllic and like um emotional, but also like tender, like sweet, kind, giving. Like those are aspects of like Pisces. So certain traits in certain zodiac signs, they're very like, yeah, I see that. Soon as you see the person, you see them like act around with other people, behave around with other people, you're like, yeah, I can see that. So, do you believe? You don't have to, but I believe. And from my experience, it tends to be pretty accurate. The sun is rising literally behind me. I can literally feel it on my back, but it's not hot. I just can feel like the warmth. And thank God I'm wearing white. Because if I was wearing anything darker, like black, I'd be roasting about now. But I'm not. I'm just lightly stroking the canvas with white. And my paintbrush is wet. So it's easy glide. We were also talking about global warming because, like, we can't avoid talking about it, right? I was talking about, like, we're talking about a lot of things in regards to global warming. But we gotta save the earth. And when I say we, I don't mean it's like me and like two other people. Like, I mean the collective energy, the collective thought, the collective, like, we are here. We are human beings. We're earthlings, literal earthlings. We got to save the earth. Like, there's one earth. And we were talking because I live in the Northeast. I was talking, I was like, man, I really can't see this winter because if this summer was all the way crazy and like there was floods in Europe and China and there's fires on the West Coast and multiple cities like Seattle that don't even have homes that are AC like installed or homes that could be AC approved because it doesn't get that hot in regions like Seattle to even need an AC. Huh. But this summer, they were toasting, they were roasting in Seattle. And I'm just like, I just don't even want to know what this winter has in store because, again, we live in the Northeast. I live in the Northeast. And winters be fun in the Northeast. And if this is the weather for the summer globally, I can only imagine what the winter is going to be giving. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really excited about it. Truth be told, I'm never really excited about winter. I'm a May baby, so I'm never really excited about winter in general. But I'm just like, man, what is it giving? Is it giving me blizzard? Is it giving me like dry, like winter weather? But there's no snow. But there's like that vicious like wind, the howling of the wind, like the crashing. I'm being very animated, but the point is, like, it's just like that vicious wind where you can hear it from your window and it cuts through you and it whips you. Again, animated, but you get my drift. And I'm like, if it's that type of winter, it's gonna suck so bad because found out yesterday, science, that the theory was right. The theory that I've always had, where it's like, if you don't have snow, but you have that vicious type of wind, it's colder and it's worse versus like typical wind, typical winter, and there's snow. I feel like the snow barricades that harsh wind, and without that snow, the harsh wind is gonna be whipping on you. And come to find out, I was actually right. So I feel like it might be that type of tease, and that's the worst. Especially if you're standing still, like if you take public transportation or you're outside, you have to go. That's the one that's the worst because it's the type of a cold where you haven't touched anything cold. Your hand hasn't been exposed to anything cold, but like your fingertips are so freaking cold, it feels like they're about to break and burst. It's that type of cold, and I'm just like, ugh. But we're not gonna, project any negativity onto the future. We're gonna stay present. We're gonna stay hopeful. We're gonna stay wellness minded because that's what today is. We cannot concern or worry ourselves to death about what the future has in store. All we can do is make mindful choices today that can either prevent or mitigate the possible outcomes of tomorrow. Because I don't want to give off the energy of fear. Because fear is fake evidence appearing as real. Again, we have no idea how harsh the winter is going to be. We're just assuming. And interestingly enough, I was thinking as I was walking here, assumption is when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. So for all I know, winter might be a-okay, and winter might be as normal as it's always been, or winter might be really that bad. But I don't know. We don't know. We gotta let go and let God, and focus on the things that we do know, like our mental health. So I'm finished covering the canvas in white. Now I am. Let me do the background first. Ooh, whoa. Clear that out. Clear that out. Those like two big flies. Those are back. So I don't want to hurt you, but I could, but I don't want to. Back. Interestingly enough, I learned like a few years ago, alewife is named alewife because there used to be fishes called the alewife fish that was here, and it was like depopulated because people would just go fishing and take the habitat. So since that time, and since I've ever known Cambridge, that area has been fenced off. But you'll always see like swans, maybe not swans, but like geese. You'll see geeses, not swans, but you will see geeses. You'll see other natural animals and the habitat and whatnot, but that is fenced off. But you'll hear it. I don't know if you heard it. Something was like screeching, and I don't know if it got caught within the video, but just letting you know, it's nature. Have y'all went on vacation? Have y'all did anything, done anything, anything? A good friend of ours from the birthday celebration, she came back from Mexico, and she saw like Mayan ruins, and she went under, what was it? Water diving? It's not ski diving, scuba diving. I knew it was diving something. Scuba diving. And she had like bats over her head and whatnot because it was like underground. And I'm not that brave. I'm not gonna do that. But but it reminded me of my Italy trip that I went in 2019 before the lockdown and everything. And there was an option to scuba dive in some cave, and they offered that, but there wasn't anything crazy like bats. But I think there was some type of animal in the water, but I don't believe it was bats. It was like swim with something, not the dolphins, but some type of animal that doesn't fly over your head and possibly might drink your blood. Just saying. And was linked at one point to being possibly the case that put the world on pause. Would you do anything like that, scuba diving or swimming with animals or having anything fly over your head? Like I'm mad protective of my head. I'm always like, what? I particularly would not be a fan of that, but you live once. So if that's you, that's you. That is definitely not me. But if that's you, that's you. Live your bestest life. Period. Let's take a long walk around the park after dark. My phone just got overheated. I just thought like, hey, why is it the music playing? And it's overheated. And I turned it to its back like this, but it still got hot. So now I want to put it somewhere where the sun don't shine. No pun intended, but like it just happened to like click. I guess on a subconscious tip, but I'm gonna place it where the sun don't shine, and then put it probably in the carry that I have for the material. So can have some music in the background, but my phone won't risk frying. So that's a future note for self, but a note for y'all as well. Of course, don't flip your screen to the sun, but even the back cover, even with a screen protector for your phone or a phone protector in general, even the back, don't let the sun hit that either because it will still overpower your device. So there's that. I heard a beep. That's why I was like, where's that coming from? Where's that coming from? Where that's coming from? It's over there, if you can see. I would take a picture of it, but you know, my phone overheated. But it's over there, and I'm trying to see where it's going. Because again, my train of thought is I've never gotten stung by a bee, and today's not going to be that day. So, if anything, I would direct it into a different direction. But it got the memo because it's not here anymore, and I don't hear any more buzzing. Now, I'm nobody's a survivalist, so don't take it to heart. I'm just saying that's the way that I think, okay? Please don't run up on random insects, bugs, animals, what have you, and start swooshing in their direction because I can't guarantee that you're not going to get hit with a stinger. All I'm saying is that's how I deal with it. So please use precaution and common sense because that's important. With that thought, I also thought about if my iPad would end up being, you know, by the sun, but the way that, again, not the most scientific person here, but if the sun is directly over me, or like now I feel like it's more on my back than over my head, so it's probably going to go further down that way. It wouldn't affect the actual iPad. Again, not the most scientific person here, but I'm on a roll with the science with the snow. I'm just gonna keep it going. If I'm on a roll with that, I'm just gonna keep it going. You gotta appreciate the small things. You gotta accept your wins wherever you can get it. Hey, I'm just gonna assume there's a puppy coming. And now it ran that way. I think it's a bulldog, but it looks like a bulldog slash chihuahua. Not a dog expert either, but it's cute. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do. Why even, why even force something that don't want to be forced? So that's what I'm gonna do. It's actually kind of cute. This ombre thing I got going, and of course, towards the end, I will show you what I got going on. But I think it's cute, so therefore it is, because that's painting. Because art is art. Who's gonna tell you no? Who's gonna tell you yes? Art is art. And that's the great thing about art, and which I find like fantastic. It's like who's gonna tell you no? Who's gonna tell you yes? It's your own art, you know. And like again, everything's for interpretation, and perception is reality. So one person might be like, "Ugh, like what is that?" And the next person's like, "Oh my god, that's the best thing I've seen since sliced bread." And that's okay because that's art. Because it's really about what your soul spoke, and that's just that on that. actually hear some seagulls, which reminds me of the beach. Last weekend, I actually went to a not the Sunday, but the Saturday, so not the 8th when we did the first self care painting session, but the Saturday, so before the 8th. Um, I went to this international, it has it yearly within Boston, Rivera Beach. They had the international sand sculpting competition. So that was the last time I went to the beach. But when was the last time you went to the beach? There's something about that salt water, that sand, and that sun that makes you feel like this is right. I don't know about y'all, but like the beach does it for me. So back. That feel better. There's a dragonfly there. But of course you can't see it. So you gotta take my word for it until I actually capture it. I didn't even know dragonflies even existed in the city. Like when I tell you I had no idea. Like no idea. I had no idea. I thought like those are things that you only see in like the country, like cottage core type of thing. Like I thought like it can't exist. And the thing about it is because we're so detached from nature, we think like nature is out there, outside of me, somewhere far, far away across the seas, when nature's literally your backyard. But it's just that like mind effery where it's like because we're in the city, it's fast paced, it's the lights, it's the convenience of it all that we think we're so separate, but we're really not. The illusion, delusion, confusion. So yeah, I discovered like dragonflies do exist in the city. I want to see if our friend, the butterfly from the last session, is going to show up, the white butterfly, because that was cool. Another thing that is actually scientific: the closer you are to water, the cooler the air is. Huh? Because if you've ever been on a boat, you'll see the temperature is colder on the boat because it's on top of water versus when you're on land and you're not surrounded by water. So that is actually scientific. It's interesting because earlier this week I was like, man, if y'all would have taught me like mathematics through astrology, mathematics through like astronomy, I think I would have been a better student. Like you have to meet your students where they're at. You gotta see what they're interested in and like not rearrange their decision or rearrange their attention, but it's like if they're into Minecraft, somehow, some way combine Minecraft and algebra. Because if you could do that, they'll love algebra just as much as they like Minecraft or love Minecraft. So it's things like that. So I feel like teachers who are like my age, um, who have students, like they do that. They're mindful of that, combining the culture, combining even the pop culture, making sure like not trying to make kids sacrifice like, hey, you're a good student if you're back in like the dark ages, but you're a bad student if you like this modern thing that all the kids are into, like fidget spinners. You shouldn't put that weight on their shoulders because they're just kids following the trends like we adults following the trends. So meet them where they're at. So earlier this week, I was thinking about that, how it is a disservice to like not meet your students where they're at and not incorporate the things that they're interested in just because you're not personally interested in it or that's not the way that you were raised to like this or believe in this. It's not gonna hurt for you to do a little Minecraft jig thingy, the twist, the something, the slide, the thing like this. I don't remember. I don't know. But that thing, incorporate that. Because kids remember. Kids do remember the teachers that go an extra mile. Like, even as adults, you'll think back and be like, there was that teacher that did this for me, or taught me that, or had compassion for me in this area. Like, it matters. Kids will always remember that. Something about us becoming adults, somehow we magically forgot how it was to be a kid. What experiences we had, what things that we believed in. It's kind of like the whole conversation about being outside of nature, thinking nature is outside of yourself. It's the same thing with that childlike spirit. Interestingly enough, we're in Leo season, and that's what Leo season is about. It's about keeping your passion. It's about even children. If you're a person who has a lot of children, or interested in having children, or even interested in the act that produces children, but it's all about just like getting in tune with what your heart's truest desire is, which is to be lifted, which is to be happy, to be abundant, to be safe, to be secure, to be loved. So um something about adulting and becoming adults, we just kind of lost that. We kind of lost it. I feel like between middle school and high school, we kind of like, it starts to dwindle. And by the time we become like full fledged adults, we're just kind of like, what is childhood? What is being happy? What is following your heart? Like, what is that? And I think that's what a lot of us are yearning, especially in these days in time of our lives. We're yearning that like security of everything's gonna be okay, in the way of like trusting in self, trusting that you're able and capable to meet any challenge with your best foot forward, and knowing that you have all the strategies and tools that you need to defeat whatever. Because as a kid, we had all the heart in the world with no experience, all the heart in the world, all the courage in the world with no experience. Then we have a little bit of heartbreak, break, a little bit of setback, a little bit of hurt, a little bit of pain, and we're like, oh God, we can never do this life thing again. We can never take chances in it again. We can never expand more than this because that one setback. And as the old saying goes, you'll never know if you don't try. If you let that one setback hold you back, then you kind of cheated yourself out of what could have been. And now you'll never know. And the gag is, thinking out loud, is this mentality is really given to like the poor and the working class, because when you reach a certain level of wealth like Jeff Bezos, you do stupid things such as take a penis shaped rocket into space and think that you did something revolutionary. Like, people who can afford wealth and leisure. Interestingly enough, in my past life, I made a video about like leisure is for the rich, vacation is for the rich. We're told if we work hard enough, we can rest, but we're never able to truly rest. But those who don't work hard enough and they are able to capitalize off of other people's labor to make their wealth, aka Amazon and Amazon workers, to what is Jeff Bezos, those who are able to capitalize off of other people's labor to make wealth, all they do is vacation. All they do is lounge around. They don't really have any real life skills. They have no real skill sets but to be in leisure at all times. But it's us, the working class, who are told that we aren't working hard enough and we just got to keep on working in hopes that maybe the last 10, 15 years of our lives while we retire, if we can afford to retire, that now you can experience your leisure time. When you're old and tired and life has passed you by, now you can afford to live and be and exist and actually afford to watch the wind blow the leaves on the tree branch. Is like after your vitality, after your strength, and basically the opposite of Leo energy. That's when you can enjoy your leisure. And I don't know if you see it, but it seems real fraudulent to me. So with that being said, because there's a method to my madness as always, who said that you should subscribe to that mentality? Who says that you have to either become a parasite, in my opinion, to enjoy life, or you have to wait until you're elderly. And I think we have a visitor. So we have a visitor. So that happens. And it shouldn't be that way. It really shouldn't be that way. It really shouldn't be that way. And the interesting thing, because I'm still on the topic, the interesting thing to me about, like, for example, the Amazon workers saying like I've had enough, and they're boycotting and they're striking and they're calling small media channels like on YouTube or whatever, leftist media, to cover their protest. The thing I feel about Amazon workers and minimum wage workers doing that, like, my heart sings when I see shit like that, because it's like y'all are starting to understand you are the fabric of the working class. Woo! That was a B. You are the fabric of the working class, but not just that, the system doesn't work without you. That's why they say things like you don't deserve minimum wage, that actually is a livable wage. You don't deserve $15 minimum, like, never mind an actual living wage. Like, $15 wouldn't even cut it in most states, definitely would not cover it in Massachusetts. Absolutely. Rent is ridiculous. Too damn high indeed. But also, it's just wrong. So with the Amazon protest and with the working class, especially those who do jobs such as like fast food or customer service, and them saying, I'm not going to work, I'm going to protest, I'm going to strike, I'm going to, call attention to this. Like, my heart sings for that, because it's like, why shouldn't you have leisure? Why shouldn't you have benefits? Why shouldn't you have a livable wage? Why should you work yourself to the bone? Why should you take disrespect? Why should you choose either pay your rent or swallow your pride? Like, that's not okay. Why should you expose yourself and have to, like, deal with bosses who want to Andrew Cuomo, who want to sexually harass you? Like, that's not it. You shouldn't sacrifice your dignity. You shouldn't sacrifice your humanity for a paycheck. So when I see things like that, my heart sings for joy, because it's like, if enough workers from all aspects of the working class, the poor class, those who work quote unquote remedial jobs or intern or entryway jobs, if enough of us realize that this is a scam, and enough of us stay down and we're like, we quit, or not even just quit, but like, these are our rights, these are our bargaining chips, because this ship ain't moving without us, because we know Jeff Bezos ain't got no life skills. Okay, so you don't have enough life skills or the ambition to keep this ship running. This ship is running because we keep it running, because we put the effort, because we slave away. But without us, you don't have shit. Ooh, I was gonna try not to cuss on this channel, but without us, you don't have anything. And if enough workers stand on that across the spectrum of like class, and across the spectrum of like, what is your education, what is your qualification, what does your resume look like, if all said, no, we're standing down, we're striking, unless our demands are met, we're not going to keep this ship running, I swear to God, things would change overnight. Because as you can see, workers are replaceable, we're going to get mechanical machines, and you're not deserving of 15 minimum wage, you don't deserve benefits, it's an entry job, you don't have any this. They tell you everything. Businesses won't be able to afford it, people will go bankrupt, what about the wealthy, what about the owner class? They say all of that. But as soon as Amazon workers say, nah, we're striking, all of a sudden, when the minimum wage workers who worked through the pandemic, they were essential workers through the pandemic. After the pandemic, they're replaceable. Now they're saying, you know what? If you're not going to give us a pay wage, you're not going to support us, you're going to overuse us and put our health at risk. Put our health at risk for COVID, which is very deadly, very transmissible. Then F it, I'm not going to work here. I quit. That spoke volumes. That spoke volumes across the board. And even some corporations tried to do the whole, well, if you're not going to go back to work, we're cutting the unemployment benefits. Yeah, they've had some people who are like, you know what, I got to get a job, even if it's not worth much, I got to get it. And other people are like, no, I will do what I have to do. And I might have to go through some dark times, but I'm just not going to allow myself to be exploited. Like when I see, oh my God, that was a red bird. I don't want to say it was a red robin because, you know, I'm not a scientist. But like there was literally a red bird that flew. And I've never seen a red bird flew here. Well, I've never been here, but I've never seen a red bird just fly. Anyways, tongue twister. But yeah, they tell you not worth it, but when you take your labor out the door, now all of a sudden they're like, hold up. I like that. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to have your benefits. You deserve to be respected. And that's literally the basic. That's literally the foundation. And if they can't even meet you there, there's no hope anywhere else, because basically they're telling you this is the culture. If you don't want to be exploited, then you can't be here. And I guess for a lot of people, it's like, then I guess I shouldn't be here. I think a lot of labor laws, I think a lot of definition of what we consider labor and what we consider like legal needs to be looked at again. Like there's no boss who should feel like because I'm your boss, I own you and you owe me, that you are my slave. And a lot of people have felt that way, and a lot of employers have felt that way as well, that they are the slave owners. Like, I own you, like you have to bend to my whim. And that's not okay. No one should have to feel as if they have to be a slave or they have to be a puppet to get a paycheck. That's not right. That's inhumane. And I'm glad we're having these conversations now. I don't want to protest at the park. It's really just self-care. But these are my thoughts, and if I didn't share it with y'all, it wouldn't be authentic. Another good advice, if you're using paints, especially if they're liquid, especially if they come out kind of like, what's the word? Like a custard type of teas. They're kind of like this. A good idea is to, let me cover the black, because the black feels a whole lot more warmer than, let's say, this blue, this purple, this light purple. Like even with the paint, the sun will attract black. So fittingly, getting to the point, put water in the paint, not to dilute it, but to keep it like moist, because it can dry out in the sun, which would suck. So make sure you do that. Again, you don't have to put a lot. It doesn't have to be any crazy amount, just enough to keep it lubricated. Ooh. Water everywhere, not a drop to drink. Because unfortunately, our freshwater resources are dwindling. I don't know, y'all. Again, I wouldn't be authentic if I wasn't sharing my real thoughts, but I don't want this to come off as doom and gloom. If anything, it's informative, and I want y'all to be aware. So while you're going out throughout your day, doing what you're doing, living in your lovely, you can think about these things like, man, like maybe I should conserve some water. Like, yeah, I live in America. Maybe you might live, depending on which state and which region, you might not be paying for water, right? Like, for example, if you have your property, like you pay water, you have a water bill, but like if you, let's say, live in an apartment, then you don't pay a water bill, depending on the situation, but mostly standard wise, you don't. So if you are one of those people where it doesn't harm you to like leave the sink on for hours, maybe like be aware of that. Instead of just letting the water run as you clean, like let's say your dishes, maybe perhaps get a bucket and put water in that bucket, so you use that soapy water to clean the dishes, and then you'll throw out the water after the dishes are done, and then maybe get a new fresh water to like wipe away the soapy water, the soap and everything. So, the dishes are clean, but there's less water being used. Like, mindful like that. Or even when you brush your teeth, sometimes the rushing water is soothing. Like, to me, sometimes it's soothing. but like be mindful of like maybe perhaps I can turn the water off and like just hum myself as I brush my teeth or whatever the case may be. It's small things like that. The everyday person really doesn't have that political influence like that, but it's the small things that matter, because as much as we are detached from Earth, we need Earth. We need this greenery. We need the trees. Like the trees clean the air. Like, and you know we got pollution in the city. Like it cleans the air. It's just be mindful. I mean, I feel like humans are the guardian of Earth, and we've been just doing a really piss poor job. We should be protecting the Earth. We should be defending the Earth. Like even the Earth's creatures. Whenever there's like a forest fire, let's say in Australia, we don't have to. It's technically not something that's against the law. Technically, whatever religious belief that you believe in, that deity is not going to come from wherever and like beat us up if we don't save the animals forest fires, but we do it anyways. And why do we do that? Because we're human, and for some weird reason we're kind of like the guardians of this planet, so we do it because we know it's the right thing to do. So it's just like small things like that the everyday person can do to conserve what we have on this planet called Earth, because we really only have one planet that can call us residents. Like we can't go anywhere else. They don't let Jeff Bezos's penis rocket fool you. We cannot survive in space. There's not enough technology that is advanced. And if you look into anything that has to do with like astronauts and astronomy and how to live on the rocket ship and like what's the process of getting into space, it's not easy. You can't have water in space. Water for like astronauts is like this jelly type of substance. It's kind of like jello. They don't take a full bath in space. They have baby wipes. Like the technology is not there, but like we're rapidly destroying the Earth. So it's kind of like our job to save the Earth, because we're kind of like the guardians of Earth. And it would be tragic within like two generations the Earth is fucked. Ooh, again, I'm trying to not curse on this channel. Like in 2 generations the Earth is effed, but like Earth has been here for like millions of years. Like that's a face palm to humanity, and we need to reverse the effects as much as we can. And the most major change has to be from a political point of view, because there's nothing that we as the regular schmegular commoners can do about fracking. That's something Joe Biden can do, but isn't doing. So a lot of it is on the political scene to stop things, to ban things, to outlaw things, as well as these corporations like Enron, who's been having this information since the 70s, but decided to bury it because it's more profitable to exploit the only Earth that we have. So it's things like that we have to be mindful of. And trust you, me, I'm not the most conservative when it comes to resources. I'm not the most like earth friendly. I'm not the most hippiest, but like we just gotta do better. And that's just that on that. But back to the painting. So I don't want to like make this a feeling of like blame or feeling of ranting. And since I just remembered that it is the day of solitude and service, did y'all go to any type of religious ceremony or anything like that? I know a lot of people do certain religious practices on Sunday, so did y'all do that? Are y'all gonna do that? Do you not do that? Because that's okay as well. I don't know if y'all hear that tick 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 sound, but there's that. Sounds louder, as if it's like moving like that way, like towards me, but like on the other side. That's why I'm like, let me hear my spidey senses. Is my spidey senses tingling? Like, what is that? I don't think it's that way. I think it's that way because there's a tree above me. Actually, the sun is that way now. So it didn't go behind me. It went that way. So it's sun is like hitting me that way. Again, I'm not a scientist. But it's above my head. It's above me now. I was trying to remove a bug from my canvas. I got stuck on my paintbrush, but then I was trying to do the nice thing. Oh, I think it's a spider. An itsy bitsy spider, legitimately. Like tiny as heck. I was trying to like transfer it from the canvas to my paintbrush to like the grass on the field. But then it got stuck in the paint on my paintbrush. So then I was just like, let me just flick it. But I'm like, no, it's stuck. So I'm like, all right, let me just, I don't know, like pick it up with the napkin. So I transferred it onto the napkin. And then I wiped it on the grass. Like, I'm really trying to live with nature. I'm really not trying to kill these bugs. Literally. Even when I'm kind of freaked out by them. I just feel like everything deserves to live. And I don't want to be the difference between it dying and living when I could have done something as simple as like swoosh it away. Here comes another one. Trying to be the swoosh master. Okay. I don't want to kill if I don't have to. Just swoosh it. I want to make the purple a little bit darker. I put a dot of purple. Looks like that. And see, I feel like animals have intelligence because that bee was literally about to land on my thigh, but then I pulled back and I was like, oh, that's not something I'm supposed to sit on. I'm like, no. And it like swooshed over to the right of me. So I feel like, or the left of me, the right of me, the right of me. So I'm like, bugs have intelligence. They know. I feel like when people freak out and they do all that yelling, that's when the bugs are like, oh, so this is a game. I know. I feel like they do that, just like dogs. If you start running, a dog sees you running, they're going to think it's a game. Even if you're terrified, they're going to think it's a game. And I feel like other animals think the same way. Yikes. And that's something from personal experience. Story time in seconds. When I was a kid, I was chased by a chihuahua and I was terrified. But the chihuahua really thought it was a game. So it chased after me for like a good 5 minutes around the complex. And it was like a circular oval complex. So like the buildings were like center, but the sidewalk went like around the building like an oval like shape. So I was running, yelling my head off, but the chihuahua actually thought it was a game. And of course I was mad, embarrassed, terrified, but what was I gonna do? So I don't know what was the point of me sharing that, but yeah, don't yell, just swoosh. If you think that's the best idea, because again, I am no survivalist, I don't want nobody saying like, I took your advice and I got stung. That's my best educated guess, okay? That is all. Okay. I don't want to figure that out. I really like this. It's coming along. For a while I was like, what is it? Kind of. And now I'm like, yeah. You just gotta believe in your own magic, period. Feeling cool breezes, and it feels so good and so well needed. Whew. Okay. Voila. Let that dry out a little bit. Take a sip. Another good thing is that down there, though you can't see it, there's a water fountain, and it's a water fountain for humans as well as their fur babies, their pets. So, and it's no cross contamination like the water for the pets is lower for humans. So there's no cross contamination, and there's actually like 2 bowls for those who have pets. So it's safe essentially. So I mix a little bit of the white and the green together, so it makes it a lighter green, a minty green, than like the green that was original, which was more like a foresty green. So now we're dealing with this green for contrast. Now, see what we can do here. And in typical painting workshops, people end up being this silent when they get into their work. There is conversation. You'll know when people hit their peak of like, I got this, I'm confident in this, I'm painting what I feel like painting, is when it's silent, because they're really into whatever they are depicting from their mind, body, and soul. And if you're cautious about like water, let's say you're using the same water to liquidize the paints, you're using the same water to clean your brushes, you're like, oh, the paint water is one color, but like the color that I'm trying to soften up so it doesn't dry underneath the sun, like it's not the same color, like there'll be like contamination. It won't. The only color that you might have to worry about is white if you do that. But for the most part, it will just turn into the color of the paint because the paint is darker, and it is the one that has more of potency than the obvious paint water. So there is no changing of the paint. Just for reference, because we started off with blue, the water is blue. But just a little sneak peek of what I got. Doing the diluted paint thing, the paints are still the same color. They did not turn blue. And like the canvas, we got 3 different colored paints on the canvas. So you can use your paint water if it comes in handy. I haven't sunbathed in a while too, which is interesting because when I go to the beach, I tend to sunbathe. And of course, last year the world was locked up. And then, of course, precautions this year. But I haven't gone to the beach and really enjoyed the beach in a very long time. And I was thinking to myself, like, damn, when was the last time I was able to sunbathe? Because I actually enjoy doing that. I enjoy being underneath the sun. And I'm a May baby. Like, it actually feels revitalizing. Like, it really does, to sit underneath the sun and have those rays hit you. Of course, you know, you gotta wear the sunscreen because, you know, skin cancer is real, regardless of race. But I do enjoy doing that, and I did miss not being able to do that last year. So I'm low key getting a sun bath right now. But definitely put on sunscreen, even if you're black, because black people can get skin cancer too, and black people can burn under the sun too. Don't believe the hype. Black people need to wear sunscreen too, especially the older you get and your skin ages. Take care of yourself, including your skin and your mental health, because that's important. When I was coming to set up, I heard the noise of like an ambulance or a cop car. And I was like, damn, I hope like that doesn't continue going on through the video. And I just remembered, like, since then I haven't heard any of that. Interesting. Yesterday, when I went to my friend's birthday dinner celebration, there was like an ambulance in the middle of like a main street in Boston. And it was just running its sirens just to run its sirens, because we all know, like, cop cars and ambulances, sometimes they run their sirens and there's no emergency. They just want to get out of traffic. And another B. And we were all cringe faced because the car and where we were standing, it was maybe 3 feet away, if that. We weren't that far apart. Like, we were in eye distance. Like, the driver could see me, I could see him, and we could make eye contact. And our faces, of course, because we hate the siren, who does? Our faces was just like, oh, can you make that sound stop? And like, he instantly turned the siren off. So that's when I knew there was no emergency. But also, it's like, damn, can you be considerate? No one wants to hear that ish. Just take the traffic like all of us. No one likes traffic. But we don't blare annoying alarms and sirens and ish to get out of traffic. You shouldn't either. No one likes hearing that. And like, for you to even be playing the siren, don't you get unnerved? Doesn't that bother you? I would hate to have to blare that thing every time I want to get out of like being in traffic. Like, that would hurt my own ears. And that would suffice enough for me not to do it to anybody else. But yeah, that's what I wanted to share. It was interesting because we were literally like, ugh, like our whole face was like just ugh. And he was like, all right, I'll turn it off. And I was just like, so why did you turn it on? What was the point in that? Please don't do that. It's annoying. And of course, if it's an emergency, like, it's literally your job, like, put it on for the emergencies. You have to say these things because there are people who take things to the highest extent. And of course, they're going to assume that you mean never in life ever blare the siren. It's just obviously common sense. If you're in traffic like the rest of us and there's no emergency, don't blare it. But if there's actually an emergency, of course blare it. Annoying as it is, it's an emergency. So I kind of can excuse that. But if there's no emergency, I really can't. So use common sense. And there was a monarch butterfly that just flew. That was a surprise attack, and I ended up with green on my shirt. The ant on my chest. Great thing about having white shirts is the fact that you can just dump bleach on it. Which is why, great insertion. Um, when you paint with clothes that you don't mind getting dirty with paint. Unless you want to be extra careful, which is fine. But accidents like pop-up ants on your chest might frighten you enough to have an accident. So to avoid accidents, wear clothing that you don't care that gets stained. Hence the basic white shirt. Alrighty. Now that the green, for the most part, is done, I'm gonna go back in with that blue and do a little something something. No Maxwell. The dogs are chasing each other, and their owners are down there, and they ran up the hill. So now they're trying to like call the dogs back. Because again, dogs think everything is a game. So like when you run after them, they think it's a game. So they just keep running. They either run after you or they run away from you because they think it's a game. And you can't fault animals for being animals. Again, I'd rather have just a little bit and build on that versus like a whole again. Because this here wasted paint from like previous painting workshops. So I'm mindful of my own usage, but also letting people know like you just need a penny. And if you need more, you can always add on more. Because you can pour it out, but you can't like insert it back in. I don't know if the sun will be had some clouds. I don't know if the weather temperature went down. I don't know what it is. It's a whole lot more cooler, okay? And there's a breeze coming in. So refreshing. Love the sun. Sometimes it's too much, especially when it's directly on your back or on any part of the body. I like it because, thinking out loud, I like this currently how it is because it looks so like abstract and so like what is that? But it makes sense to me because I know how to like bring it together. They're separate, but I'm about to bring them together. Okay, all right. Now I'm gonna outline little mommy, and then I'll bring everything, pull everything back together. Before I go in with paint, we gotta outline this thing because it'll be hard to trace back if need to. See, this is why you have to outline because like once you get into like the habit of tracing whatever you're trying to trace, then you start seeing different things like okay, a little to the left, a little to the right, trace it, and then like actually use the paint to trace it. It's like measure twice, cut once if you're into woodwork. So you would measure twice to make sure that it is exactly the exact measurement that you want, and then you cut it. So it's kind of like the same thing. Trace, 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 and then once you kind of get like the method of the sway of it, then you go on with the paints. Just if you want to avoid like having to do it again. Oh, okay. Boom, boom, bam. Got it. Did you have Sunday dinners? Because that's also a thing too. Did y'all cook? And did you invite me? But that's a thing too. Do you do Sunday dinners? Sunday dinners. I don't know why I came out like that. Is that Sunday dinners? Do you do Sunday dinners? And if so, what you cooking? And for real though, did you invite me? No. But if that's your thing, what did you cook this Sunday? And was it like a family meal? Leave that in the comment section down below. Let me do a light trace. A light trace. And if anything goes hairy, I can just wipe it off or use white. I feel like I'm doing surgery, like I'm a surgeon. I'm like, pat my forehead, make sure like everything's working, making sure like the heartbeat is okay. And the gag is, I'm obviously being extra about it because it's no competition, it's no nothing, and it's relaxing. But I do have a particular look that I'm trying to convey with this portrait, so being mindful, but also not stressing. And there's another ant. I didn't know ants were so attracted to paint. Okay. Yes. Yes. And enthusiastic. Yes. Okay. So we're doing something and I like. All right. Let me just take all the way. If there's any left. Okay, so. I'll just add more white if I do. You know what? I think so. I'm coming up with something. My spidey senses are tingling. I think I have something here. I think I have something here. Let me use a little bit of the white. Yeah, like this much. Ooh, something's dripping. It's just water. So like this much of the white. And on top of the green, I'm gonna go in with this because little baby just been chilling. I'm gonna add a little bit of this to the already selected green. Just a little bit, just a little bit. That turquoise color. And then, am I? bug on my inner thigh again. Granted, it would freak me out if it was on me in general, but depending on the place, it freaks me out even more. Okay. Still not as light as I want, but I don't want to force it. I don't want to end up with more paint than I actually need trying to concoct a certain color. Have you tanned? Which is different from sunbathing, but like just tanning in general. Like, I'm black, so I don't necessarily need to tan as opposed to like just being in the sun, I get darker. I've noticed that I've gotten darker this summer, which means I've been out more, which means I've been just living life. So, have you noticed that? Did you get a tan this summer? Have you gone places, done things, seen people, seen things? Let me know in the comments. I think I want this texture too. I want it to be elusive. It feels so much breezy. I don't know if the sun has like tucked itself behind some clouds. I don't know if the temperature has gotten lower. I don't know what it is, but it seems a lot more smoother. And another monarch, or maybe it's the same, but it's going down that way. I really am trying to save these bugs. These bugs are really attracted to this paint. That bug had no chance. Sorry, bug. You're already dead. Oh, no, I think I'm so good. Gotta reshape the head real quick. I don't want my little mommy to look like an alien head. No way. Yeah. No alien-headed baby here. And there's nothing wrong with alien-headed babies, but she's not it. When I'm enthused with my painting, I start naming them and giving them pronouns. Yes. Okay. Boom. Alrighty. Okay. Now, the black. We'll take our time. We'll do this right. The sun is actually further that way. And though I can still see it, it's not as like on me as when we started. And it's somewhat buried behind clouds, just a little bit. More black. No one should have known this was not the actual right brush to use. That's why it feels so awkward. Let me get up real quick because I can't underneath me. This way, buddy. All up on my chest, all up on my body. I'm like, goddamn, you didn't even buy me a drink. We're not gonna keep that. Yeah. So we've been here longer than I expected, and my iPad is saying that we got less than 10, not even 10 minutes, 10% left. And I didn't even notice how long we've been here, but it's close to 3 hours. So this should be interesting. I know my iPad was telling me like, girl, you done overheated. Like, what was you thinking? Nope. Girl, did you bring your portable charger? Nope. Well, got 10% left. Lessons learned. Next session, I will keep that in mind. But this is what I got for now. I love her. She close. She close. Let me put this down. But she close. She close. What I'm gonna do now, just to like calm my nerves, I'm gonna end this and I'm gonna continue on my iPad. I think maybe the next 30 minutes I should be able to wrap this thing up, but stick with me. Alrighty, so I don't know if you noticed, but we switched over to the phone. So phone is a lot more battery power. We're at 60%. We're gonna wrap this thing up before we even need to worry about battery percentage. Okay, I didn't know I enjoyed myself so long that I'm here like almost 3 hours. Which means let me wrap this thing up real quick. That's the black. Put it here. I don't know why I have 2 brushes that have black, but there's that. And clean this one off. And continue on. Hopefully everything looks okay, sounds okay, is okay. Of course, we switched to another device, so it'll be a tad bit different. But hopefully all is still good. Starting to see people go home too, and it's like it's not even close to being dark, and I'm like, have I been here too long? I think I might have. Now we are talking. Yes. Again, talking to myself. Actually, I'm not. Sorry, not serious. Literally just paint over it. Boom. Mistake what? Nowhere to be found. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I like this. I like this. Oh. This feels so much more bearable, girl. Or guy. Whoever's watching this. Like, of course, it's still sunny, but it's not that like working in the fields type of sunny, and it's refreshing. It's similar to last weekend, except there's more sun. Last weekend was interesting. Cloudy, yet perfect weather. What? No ma'am. Just noticed some spillage, and I'm like, where did this come from? And why did I just notice this? Still okay. Still okay. dabbing away that excess water. So it's just paint. All right. Oh, gotta make sure the neck looks the same, kind of like makeup. Gotta make sure the neck matches the face. Kind of the same just here. Oh, no way. That is not for you. They literally like paint. Literally. Not for you. No full moon or new moon rituals today. However, the new moon in Leo, it was the Leo Lion's Gate. I talked about it in the last video, but did you happen to do anything for that night? Any ceremonies, any manifestation, any releasing? Of course, you don't have to, but if you did, drop it down below. Another great tip is like, don't use your fingers to rest on wet paint, even your own, because you will smudge it. So to avoid smudging and having to go back and repaint whatever you painted, be mindful of that. Alrighty, cool. Yes. Alrighty. Yes. Now, we'll make sure that it's even, like it looks evenly spread out. And it does. It really does. Now, I keep saying now as if like it's someone else who's gonna do it. It's not me who's gonna do it. I'm just not a perfectionist, but when I'm into something, I'm really into it. And I'm not gonna stop until like I think it's reached this like satisfaction or my own satisfaction. Let's say that. Okay. I think okay for real this time. Okay. Just that, right? Yeah. Okay. For real this time. Okay. So now, oh, that's simple enough. We could do that. But I want to do that with, I was going to go with yellow, but I want this yellow to be mixed with this golden color. So that's what I'm going to do. I get it. I'm with it. Okay. A little bit more yellow. I don't know. I feel like I don't have to really share this, but I'm going to share it anyways. For whatever reason, I just keep on hearing for these spending money on me, on me. What you gonna do with all that lumps inside that trunk? I'm gonna get you drunk, get you love drunk off my humps, my lovely lady lumps. Check it out. I don't know why that is stuck in my head. Like that is such a throwback. But there's that. That's stuck in my head, and that's been stuck in my head for the last 5 minutes. Oh man, this religion, I like it. That was an error. We don't gotta get into it. We don't gotta talk about it. But that whole thing was an error. Oh, yeah. I don't think it's dry enough. I gotta let it dry before I get into the yellow, so it doesn't turn into like a light green, which is not bad, but that's not the aesthetics that we're going for. So I'm gonna let it dry a little bit, and then we're gonna go on to another section. And once it's dry, we'll try the yellow path again. But since I'm here, let me color the mountaintops. So that's that. Let me put in the clouds. What again? What's that you pronounce comments? perfect example. Just to get out of traffic, if there was an emergency, it wouldn't last less than 5 seconds. We don't like traffic. No one likes traffic. But you don't see us using the whole like the boy who cries wolf just to get out of traffic. We just deal with it. Cool. Alrighty. Okay. I feel confident with you. Okay. Though this is not a rush, but I don't want to have another dead device issue. Less and less people in the park. Which kind of has me like, is something going on that I don't know about? Like, what happened? Oh my goodness, move. Alrighty. That's what we're gonna do. We're not gonna force it. Now I'm hearing seals kiss by a rose. Like, that's what I'm hearing in my head right now. Probably because I'm making flowers. I'm painting flowers, so now I hear seals kiss or by a rose. However it goes. Okay, it's coming along. Now, it's this color. I really like how this turned out. Interesting. was really worried that I wouldn't have liked it, and now I'm like, yes, absolutely yes. Literal flies stuck in the paint. Okay. And 2 more flowers I need to get done. I think I have a light. Into a light blue. Paint all on this. You know what? It don't matter. My power, my pleasure, my pain, baby. Sorry, it just came out of nowhere. There's actually 10 flowers here perfectly, and I didn't even count how many flowers I wanted to add. It just kind of went there. And now I counted them, and they're actually 10. Alright. Yeah. Okay. We're there. So, I think everything is everything except I think everything is all set, but then I'm like, I think I have something else. Did you know that when it snows, my eyes become alive? Did you know that when it snows, my baby looking normal now. My baby looking normal now. My only little baby that got an alien head that I accept is Doja Cat. That's it. Okay. And then you said slight traces. Slight, damn near undetectable traces. I think the sun is setting or getting into setting, but am I done before I do the reveal? I'm almost done. Do I want to add the burgers or do I want to leave this as? I mean, either or, honestly. I might, because it's there and I might. You know what? So there's that, and a mouth. And if you just did like some type of marking on your portrait and you want to remove it, but you don't want to like rub off the paint that's underneath it, you just want to take the one that you already just painted on, dabbing a clean paper napkin and lightly dabbing the paint that you just put on as the second layer will be easier to remove without like causing damage to the paint that's underneath it. I just remembered there's a woman walking on the path, which is not like I forgot. I just didn't really think about it. And now I'm like, oh right, there's that part too. I don't know if I'm going to incorporate the woman because I like the background. I think that's why I didn't think about her in the as something to draw, because I like the background, not necessarily the woman depicted in the card that I am inspired by. So I think I'm going to ignore her because it's not really about her, though it does prove the essence of walking. But I like what she, Mother Earth, depicts, not she, the woman in the particular card. I'm painting the background and not actually the woman in the painting. Because I literally totally forgot about there's an actual person walking, and then I look back at it and like, so I spend all the time doing the background, and what about this woman? I'm like, right, we're just gonna ignore that she's even in the picture. Because I like the elusiveness of it all, where it's like Mother Nature is everywhere. You just gotta look between like the trees and the clouds, and not necessarily the woman walking. I'm excited that I'm almost done. Just a second layer. I'm still debating, should I go in and like do it the way the card depicts it, or should I just let it ride? And a part of me wants to say let it ride, but there's also like the perfectionist part of me that's like, nah, just a little quick swipe, a little quick just crease in it. And I'm just like, should I? And honestly, I'll tell myself like, no, you don't, you're okay, you're fine. And then I'll spend the next couple of days like, why didn't I just draw the line? So I know me well enough to like not BS myself, just draw the stupid line, because I'm not gonna get over it. That's my higher self consoling my lower self, if you're into New Age and spirituality. And I am like perceptive enough and self-aware to know like, yeah, it's dumb, I don't actually need the line, but I'm also giving myself enough space and grace to be like, even though it's dumb, draw the stupid line, because I don't want to be up at 3 o'clock in the morning like, damn, that line would have made a difference, that line would have really captured the essence of myself, but I didn't draw the line. Stupid line almost done and completed. And I say stupid not because art is stupid or what I'm doing is stupid. I know like the anxiety over a little line is so insignificant, it really doesn't matter. But to soothe myself, I have to do it. Because I'm inspired. Yeah, but still, a little bit more. Okay. Okay. I feel good about drawing that stupid line. We're not even gonna get into it. We're not gonna get into it. But let me do that second layer of yellow and then grand reveal, and then we'll wrap this thing up and then we'll be out of here. I'm telling y'all, sometimes you just gotta conceive with yourself where it's just like, I need it. I just need it. Okay. And do one more layer to like wrap this tang up and then grand reveal and then we're done. So let me let that dry a little bit. And yeah, so I'm super excited. I know it was long. Trust and believe me, the editing process will be a lot more shorter. And it's funny because the editing process usually is that way. Once you figure out what you're gonna keep, what you're gonna like delete, and so on and so forth, you're like, oh, it's not that bad. It's not that long. So bear with me. But I feel excited because I had an idea. I made it happen. I worked on it. I edited it. And I feel super excited. So let me just grab the excess ting-a-ling-a-lings, and wait until that dries out. There's a nice breeze, so it's not going to take long for it to dry. A third coat to really hammer in the goodness of this portrait. Well, it's not really a portrait, but like this depiction, and then we're out of here. Making sure all the paints are covered. That's important, because what's the point of using dry paint? Huh?
Can I use that for you?
No.
Why not?
It's education purposes.
Wow, we will. Can I try?
No.
One thing. Give me a chance.
It's for education purposes.
Give me a chance. One moment. You won't regret it. I guarantee you won't regret it.
I really can't. It's educational purposes.
How much did you spend?
I'm currently recording. I'm trying to wrap it up.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Can I?
No, but thank you. Maybe next time.
Okay, take my number, and then I'll go away. Take my number.
I don't take people's numbers.
So how is it going to be next time?
Next time, I might bump into you next time. I come here sometimes.
You want to make money? You make money right now, so you want to make more money? So
I'm okay.
Listen to me.
I'm okay where I'm at. Thank you. I want to continue this so I can wrap it up and go. Thank you. So I think it's done. I think it's dry. And then who does that? Who does that? Like literally, who does that? Men are so weird. Who does that? And y'all be saying women be forcing it, women be asking for it. If women would just act different, if women would just wear different clothing, if women would this, literally painting in the park, minding my business, and this is the best way. Someone that I don't even want attention from is trying to force himself onto me so I can take his number. but we're not gonna let the vibes die because men are men. We're gonna like wrap this thing up. Let me do a third layer of paint. I could get into it, but we're not even gonna get into it. We're not gonna get into it. Third layer of paint, and then we're gonna wrap this thing up and call it a day. Child, I was so into it. I didn't even think like, is someone behind me? And they were literally, again, this is a tree. They were literally behind the tree just posting. And I'm like, who is it? Who's talking to me in my video? I thought it was just like a cute kiki, like, hey, can I be in your video? No, okay. Like, I didn't think it was gonna turn into like, take down my number. Let me be in your video. So you want more money? And it's just like, we're not even gonna get into it. We're not. I swear we're not. Because we're just not gonna get into it. For my own mental health, we're not gonna get into it. But low key, high key, what if I was alone? What if I was in the dark? Like, you know how threatening that is to my life as a woman? Like, you are a man trying to force your way upon to me, telling me what to do. I don't know you. I'm startled. Like, do you get it? Do you get it how, like, unnerving that is? And we know men don't take rejection. So I'm also watching if you're going to get angry, if you're going to retaliate, if you're going to pull something out of your pocket and possibly harm me just because I said no. Like, do men not understand how fucking crazy that is, how scary that is? Do you not get it? It's very off-putting. How the fuck am I gonna take down your number if I'm recording with my phone? So you are that important to me as a rando that I should stop my video just to take down your number? Like, we're not gonna get into it. I really don't want to get into it. I really don't want to get into it, but I feel a rant coming, and I don't want to do that. Now I just want to. I'm looking over my shoulders. I just want to wrap this thing up and just go because I'm just unnerved. Like, who does that? Men do that. We're gonna dry this thing out. I feel like I've been saying this for the longest. We're gonna dry this thing out, and then we're gonna go. And again, it's like we're in a really safe area. Like, nothing crazy gonna happen, but like just wild thing was just like, no, I feel very vulnerable right now, and not in the right ways. So, I just want that to not have happened. We want to make more money. And since we're on it, we're not going to get into a rant, but since we're on it, okay, this is how people like Andrew Cuomo are able to take advantage of women, because they prey on women's weakness and physical strength, but also like they try to bend the whim of women, right? This rando done told me, do you want to make money? As if he was going to do something for me, when in actuality, he wanted my number. He wanted access to me, but he tried to think that he was going to rope me in by tying him and my potential to earn money. And that's exactly what predators like Andrew Cuomo did. And that's why he was able to prey on so many women, because he used his position of power and that they are subservient to him in regards to positionality of this power dynamic, them working underneath him, them being women, and him having the access, the key, the glue for them to raise up in their job, in their career. You don't want to be blackballed. You don't want to be ousted out of politics or working within politics. So sometimes women feel pressured to play the role, not because we conveniently change the story when it suits us once we're a victim, but then we're not a victim. It's not that. It's literally quote unquote playing the game, but it's really out of survival. It's really out of like, do I really want to ruin my career because this person's a creep, or do I want to suck it up and hopefully I move up the ranks? And it really is like that. It really is the reality for women, and it fucking sucks. People like Andrew Cuomo should be put behind fucking prison. Not just, oh, I stepped down from my position. No, you go to jail. You don't have the right to steal someone's fucking peace of mind. You don't have the right to invade people's fucking personal space. You don't have the right to feel that you own somebody. You own them. You can manipulate them. You could toy with them. No, the fuck you don't. You are not above the law. You deserve to go to jail, and people like you deserve to fucking go to jail too. You have no fucking right. And that's my rant. Because if I didn't say it, I would not feel good. And let's be honest, it's not like you care about women. You don't care about women's feelings. You don't care about what women think. It's not like if women really came out and told every time they were catcalled, every time they were harassed, every time they were sexually threatened, every time they were sexually violent. It's not like the world would give a damn. It's not like men would stop being men. Like, let's be honest. And there's enough Aunt Lydia types, prototypes out there that would ask, what were you wearing? Were you enticing? How did you say no? It's not like you actually care about what women think. And it's not like you actually care about women's stories. So even when women do come forward, you're trying to finesse a way to make her seem less credible, or to make her seem like she wanted it anyways. So that's why victims don't really come out in the first place, because it's not like you would believe them and support them anyways. Cut the shit. Dude got me out here cussing, and I didn't even want to cuss. But anyways, finished product. So it's of course not exactly the same as the original depiction, but it's my interpretation, and that's what really matters. Let me let y'all see the card up close. And then this is my portrait. And I wouldn't be surprised, because creeps like that also have daughters. It's like, how can you be a fucking creep but you have a fucking daughter? Andrew Cuomo and the types. Despicable, just despicable, deplorable. The absolute just grotesque. Women are not here to feel your sexual pleasures. We are here for more than that. And if we want to do that, that's our fucking choice. And if I had a workshop, this is the part where I'd be like, we're coming back into circle and we're going to answer 3 questions. One would be, what did you paint? The second one would be, how did you feel about the painting process? And the third question would be, how will you incorporate your depiction into your daily life? Because self-care is not just for Sunday. Self-care is not just a theme, a movement. It's a lifestyle. Hence why I'm making Paint Your Truth into a business, because it's a lifestyle. I mean, how many of us are overwhelmed, whether mentally, physically, emotionally, whatever, and it's because we don't have enough rest. We don't have enough me time. You know, we are prioritizing every people, places, and things outside of ourselves. We're looking for something outside of ourselves. We don't feel comfortable within our bodies. We're very insecure, or we're always lost in thought. So with self-care and putting self-care into your daily routine, it doesn't feel like something that you got to do like a chore, like everything else in your life. It feels like you are living instead of existing, because you're not sacrificing self for everything else. You are part of the decisions and the expectations and routines and commitments that you have. You don't have to be lost in the shuffle. So as you can see, this is the landscape, and this is what really enthused me about this card is the landscape. Like, I literally fell in love with the depiction. I forgot there was an actual woman walking down the pathway, because the way that I saw it, and that's the way that they wanted the audience, the viewer of the deck, the self-care oracle deck, they wanted the person to take a time to see nature, to be part of nature and see the beauty in nature, and even see the mother essence of birth and regeneration and just like mother nature aspect. So that's what I depicted within my particular portrait. The purple is obviously the mountains. The outline of the figure is definitely the landscape. You can see with the pathway, the greenery, the flowers. The black could be the actual like black top, but it could also be the hair of said like Mother Nature-esque depiction. Of course, this is more of the grass and the lawn, and this is the blue skies. And interestingly enough, this could be the blue skies, but as you can see with this section of the card, it could also be like a stream of water. So that's what I kind of wanted to do with like, I have to put in the line, I have to put in the line. It was this aspect of the portrait. If I didn't put something to distinguish like this is water and this is air, it would bug me for all like the unnecessary reasons why. But this is the final portrait. Of course, within the Mother Earth figure, there is the flowers, just like in the original depiction. So I kept the aesthetics Trilla, and this is the final depiction. Now, what did I paint? Obviously, I painted this card. How did I feel about the process? Like, I talked my mouth off. I literally been here for like 3+ hours, and I'm shocked because I didn't expect that. But that just means that I really, really just was encaptured with the vibes, with the nature before old dude, and just like emerged and just felt comfortable. And that's what really like, it's kind of like, girl, you was out here for like 3 hours in the grass, because I was just feeling the vibes, and it just felt right. And you know, I got to talking, and you know me, if I start talking, I might not stop. So I felt elated. I felt back to self. I felt centered. I felt grounded. I felt a part of the landscape, but also like special enough or grateful enough to even be in the same landscape. Did I like the bugs? No. The only thing that really excited me was the butterfly, the red bird, and the dragonfly. Everything else I could have done without, but it's nature. It is what it is. What I painted, how did I feel about the process, and how am I going to incorporate this into my daily life? So I have my paintings out in my space all the time, so I see them every single day. I think with this, I'm just going to let it like soak in the sun, obviously when it's dry, and it's for the most part dry. I'm going to have it on my windowsill, and this is going to remind me to be in nature, take a walk, you know, live within the moment, stop to smell the roses. You know, it's a miracle. Miracle may be strong here, but it's just gratefulness, wellness. It is adaptation. It's thankfulness for just the natural landscape, the natural beauty that is nature, and appreciate it, take care of it, and be a part of it, you know? So that's how I'm going to incorporate it. I'm going to take more walks too, because though I've lost a lot of weight when it came down to like releasing people, places, and things that hindered me, psychologically first, and it manifested physically, but I do want to keep up like a regular routine. It's not because I'm overweight or any type of like medical issue. It's just that I don't want to stay in the same energy, like still water. I want to zhuzh it up. I want it to, you know, have life. And the same thing with your body. When you don't work out, you feel sluggish, you know, you're kind of rigid, you're not as flexible. And I want me to consistently be in the energy of doing, being, existing, living, and all that jazz. So I'm going to be more active by taking long walks around the park after dark. Well, not after dark, because old boy ruined it for me, but I will take long walks around the park. So that's what I have for today. Let's do another inhale, exhale with the singing bowl. And So this is the final result. Thank you for watching. If you like these self-care painting sessions, you know what to do. Please subscribe, like, share, follow, leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think. And happy journey on your self-care, on your wellness, on your self-love, on your abundance, because you deserve it. You deserve you more than any other person, place, or thing. And there's nothing wrong with prioritizing yourself. There's nothing wrong with taking a step back. And there's definitely nothing wrong with painting anywhere, hopefully in peace. But nonetheless, give yourself the rest and love that you need. I don't know if it's picking up on the iPhone, but there was a little dragonfly right there. I don't know if it picked up, but that's my cue to go. With all that being said, y'all, be blessed, be enlightened, love, and out. As promised, this is the landscape that I'm at. The only reason why I'm recording before even wrapping up is because, like, girl, I've been painting for hours and my phone is about to not die, but like it's very low percentage. And I want to show you what I see before I have no devices to record what I see. So like, this is the natural landscape. It's so huge, but it's so gorgeous. This is the area where, oh my God, I think that's that guy. Oh my God. This is the crazy thing about it though. When you deal with crazy people, it makes you feel just insecure, and it makes you feel like you're in danger, because like, their creepiness affects your own way of being. And that's the creepy guy. That's the creepy guy. Oh God. And I think he's hitting on another single woman. Ugh. That is so weird. But he came from that section over there. And I got him on camera. Just in case. Because the pattern is really that weird. But this is like the flower area, like the habitation for the natural animals there. I said the natural animals there. And then like behind that fence would be like fresh pond area. So this is the area where like the fish and things of that nature and all that jazz live there, because it's a pond, hence the name Fresh Pond. And this is the area, this is the vibe. The reservoir area is that white building over there. But like, yeah, you see what I see. And this is what I was seeing when I was painting. That's the little area there. So don't know where the next session will take us, but we were here. I shall see y'all on the next video, but that's all I got. Peace.